Here we go. Lecture number 8, the 7 steps to spouse success with your wife. You're going to absolutely love this lecture. We are supposed to dwell with our wives according to knowledge. And I'm going to share some things with you that are going to be according to knowledge, that are going to be a great help to you. I think you'll look back at this lecture and say, hey, that was one of the best ones and most enjoyable. We will even talk a little bit about physical intimacy in this one as well. So let's get started. What are the 7 steps to spouse success with your wife? All women are the same, but all wives are different. I love that statement. I think that there are similarities between all women, but let's face it, our wife will be specifically different. And I want to give you some steps to help you be successful with your wife. Number 1, you have to have schedule times. Schedule times. All of these are going to start with S, and schedule times. Now, that means you have to make appointments for date times with your wife. On my phone and on my calendar in my office are specific times that I have scheduled for Marilee. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you don't schedule it, you'll never do it. You'll never have. Now, I know right now, all you want to do is be with your girlfriend or be with the girl you're engaged to, and you just think, oh, like, that'll never change. It is amazing how many things come in your life and pull from every different direction. If you do not schedule time with your wife, you will not spend time with her. So there's got to be scheduled times. Let me tell you a few things that this does. Number 1, it brings security. It gives priority. She understands. I know I'm scheduled on him. Now, at first, I know some of you girls are thinking, oh, boy, this isn't very romantic. Well, just hold on about that. I got 6 other points here. But it is important that you girls are on your husband's schedule, that there is scheduled times. For vacation, oh, these are great times. You schedule a vacation, what you're going to do, and you're talking about, I think one of the most enjoyable things about a vacation is planning a vacation. And that's that scheduled time that gives great security to your wife. Number 3, weekly meetings. There ought to be weekly meetings, date times that you have. I have a time that I take my wife out every week. It does change a little bit, but overall, it's Monday afternoon. Saturday afternoon is Marilee and gym time, and we schedule that. And then in emergencies, you got to compensate. There will be things that will always change in the schedule, so you got to come by and compensate. Okay, honey, because of what's happening at the church right now, because of the coronavirus is going on right now, I've got to do this for our church families, but I will compensate it with something else. Whatever you compensate with, make sure it's better than what you had promised to begin with. Okay, so make it something even really special. So number 1, everyone together. What kind of times do you have to have, guys, but everyone, guys and girls, everyone together, you got to have what? Schedule times, okay? That's number 1. You have set appointments that are on your day timer, that are on your calendar in your office, that this is my time with my wife. Whatever doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. Number 2, spontaneous times. Whoa, Brother Shallow, that's completely opposite of scheduled times. I know. You got to have scheduled times, but can I tell you what else you got to have with your wife? You got to have spontaneous times. Now, what in the world is this? This shows that your mind is on her needs. A spontaneous time is spur of the moment. But because you're always thinking about your wife, you just give her a call. Hey, honey, how you doing? I just wanted to call you that I tell you I love you. Just send her a little text. Just something that is spur of the moment. You just reach over in the middle of the meal and just give her a big kiss. You just do something that is spur of the moment, that's spontaneous. Dinner table kiss, she knows it wasn't planned. That's the key to this thing. Spontaneous are things that she knows you didn't plan this. You just did this because you love me. And those are important. You got to have scheduled times, have to have spontaneous times. Number 3, you have to have surprise times. Now, surprise times are really cool. Okay, scheduled is something that you planned out that she knows I'm on his schedule. Spontaneous is something that just happened. It was kind of a surprise to both of you. But a surprise is something that you planned out, that she's going to find out, that you spent time to plan, but she didn't know anything about it. I'm going to tell you right now, your wife is going to love those kind of surprises. It's a thought out, pleasurable experience for her at a time she least expected it. Hide things around the house. Leave a rose in her car. Get her a card that wasn't an anniversary or Valentine's Day. Ask the Lord for ideas. How can I surprise my wife? Now my wife, she figures out so many things. It's hard to surprise her. But whenever I do, it's like, that was a good day. That was really good. I surprised her. She wasn't expecting it, but I planned something out. And obviously it was a really good experience for her. Okay. Everyone together. What kind of times do you have to have? Number one, you got to have what? Scheduled times. Number two, what do you got to have? Spontaneous times. Number three, what do you have? You have surprise times. Number four, okay, here you go, girls. It's the one you've been waiting for. Number four, you got to have snuggle times. Snuggle times. Now, I'm telling you, we talked about this way back in one of the very first lectures. We talked about that women are stimulated by touch. Snuggle is an important touch. You got to hug her. You got to put your arms around her. She's got to feel those arms every day. She's got to know you love her. You got to snuggle. Snuggle in bed. Snuggle on the couch. Don't snuggle in the dorms, okay? Don't in the dorms. Don't snuggle on campus. We have couples that want to snuggle before they can snuggle. And you can't do that. That's why you're all separated now, so it's all good now. No more snuggling. But if you're married, you have to have snuggle times. So have that. Number five. So we got number one, schedule times. Number two, spontaneous time. Number three, surprise times. Number four, you got snuggle times. Number five, you have to have speaking times. You have to have speaking times. Now, these are very important times, and let me talk to you about it. It's soft tones. There are times of you're not harsh. Soft tones. Metaphors and word pictures. If you're trying to explain something to your wife, try to give her a metaphor or a word picture with that. Give specifics, not headlines. Men are great with, you come home from work. How was your day, honey? Good day. Okay, those are headlines. I think she wants a little bit more copy, a little bit more specifics. No 100% statements. We've talked about that already. No attacks. Oh no, that isn't this. And no past references. Stop bringing up the past. Move to good things in the future. Your wife needs to be able to talk to you and you to talk to her. She needs the words and expression. She needs to be able to share with you things, and she needs to hear from you. And maybe she's more expressive than you and you're more restrained. You got to learn how to communicate, guy. You got to learn how to talk and express what you're going through and give her your feelings. Very, very important. Soft tones, metaphors, boy, those are good stuff. Okay, you got schedule time, spontaneous time, surprise time, snuggle time, speak time. Number 6, submitting times. Brother Schottler, you just gave this great lecture in the last lecture that women are supposed to submit to husbands. Yeah. Did you ever read Ephesians chapter 5 at the beginning of the whole thing between the husbands and wives? Submitting yourselves one to another. Submitting yourselves one to another. You know what, guys? I understand perfectly the dynamic biblically of how women are supposed to trust God and submit to their husbands. But the Bible does say that we're supposed to submit to them too. So I got a couple things here. You need to hear these. Lose the battle to win the war. The war is love. The war is harmony. Sometimes, guys, swallow it. Let it go. Lose the battle to win the war. The harmony over principle. Now, what does that mean? I do believe in a marriage, harmony is more important than who's right. Gang, you're never going to have the marriage that you want to have without harmony. And you just can't. Well, she's wrong on this. She's absolutely wrong. I can show you the Bible verse that she's violating. Well, you aren't going to change her by fighting with her. Harmony over it. Let it go. It is not, lose the war. Lose the battle to win the war. And then it says, Ephesians 5, submitting yourselves one to another. Okay, so here we go. We got schedule times. We got spontaneous times. We got surprise times. We got snuggle times. We got speak times. We got submit times. We only got one left. And what is it? You all know what it is. You're all by yourself, so you can say it, okay? It's sex times. Yeah. You got to have sex. You have to have physical intimacy with your spouse. And it is imperative. And by the way, we always think of this physical intimacy being all about the guys. This is not true at all. A woman needs physical intimacy as much as a man, but there is a difference. And what I'm about to tell you is going to be one of the few things that you will remember about this class for the rest of this class. I'm going to give you a metaphor. I'm going to show you what a man is and what a woman is physically. Now, I'm telling you, women need physical intimacy as much as a man does. But there is a difference. The difference is time, the time that it takes. Men, are you ready, guys? You're like a microwave oven. Women, you're like a slow cooker, like a crock pot, not a crack pot, a crock pot, okay? Now, you can get some of the best chili, some of the best soups, and some of the best stews out of a crock pot. And a slow cooker. And boy, we use microwaves every day of our lives, do we not? Both of them cook food, but the difference is time. You take a cup of water, you stick it in the microwave, you put 1:20, and after 1:20, you go bing, ding, and it's over. And girls, let me tell you something. That's what guys are like physically. They are intense, they're strong, they love the physical intimacy, but bing, it's over, it's done. Guys, girls are not that way. They're like slow cookers. And I'll tell you, when you plug the slow cooker in the morning and it cooks all day. So before you leave the house at the beginning in the morning, you go over and give your wife a big hug and a big kiss and say, "See you tonight, honey." And you know what you just did? You just plugged in the slow cooker. And then a wife needs time. Now listen, your wife can enjoy physical intimacy as much as you can, guys, but she needs time to do that. Now this is the only part of all my class that I talk about this, but I do want to share this. A wife can put on a certain thing and can very much stimulate a young man and stimulate any man. And that's what arouses him. But she needs that touch. Now, I want to stop you guys here right now, and I want to say this. Some of you may be thinking, Dr. Scheller, I absolutely believe you're right. What you're saying is really good. But I got a question. Why didn't God make them both microwaves? Or why didn't God make them both slow cookers? Why did God make the male a microwave and the female a slow cooker? It would seem like he should have made them both. In the Old Testament, what is the word that's used for physical intimacy? When a man and a woman come together in the Old Testament, what is the King James word? To what? To know. He knew her. To know her. Isn't that a great word? What a phenomenal word. You know what, guys? It's going to take you some control and time to know your wife. And I think it is a way to actually show greater love. I'm glad I'm a microwave, and I'm glad my wife's a slow cooker. I'm glad that we're not the same. That gives us both, the husband and the wife, the ability to show you do things for your husband to please him, and you do things for your wife to please her. That's why it's called making love, and you get to know each other. I believe that this time is absolutely imperative in a marriage. But I'll tell you something that will help you the rest of your life. Men, you're like microwaves. Girls, realize that it's going to help you. And girls and guys, your wife will be like a slow cooker, and she's going to take time. But boy, when things are done right, there is such a bond, and it is so beautiful. That physical intimacy God came up with, and he knew when he made you a microwave, guys, he knew what he was doing. And he knew when he made you a slow cooker, girls, he knew what he was doing. So what do men and women need? They need schedule times, spontaneous times, surprise times, snuggle times, speaking times, submission times, and yes, we need sex times too. We need that physical intimacy between the husband and the wife.